Ciao ragazzi, my name is Anthony. Welcome back to Inter Worldwide. It is great to be back to review another match day. Really, really great to be back because, hold on, let's make it clear as possible. I can only speak for myself, but I'm sure I speak for all of my paisanos in the world, all of my friends in the world, where life's just getting busier, yeah? It has to come with age. It has to come with age, bro, because I've never been this busy before in my life. I've never been this busy before. It's impossible for me to have been this busy before. Anyway, we're here today, and the reason I say that is we did miss last week's version of this show. Got 3 messages, and I wanted to actually read them out before we get started. So the first one is from Gino P147. Gino P147 sent me a message on Instagram, and I don't even check Instagram. I hate Instagram. I hate social media in general, which is probably why I just don't put enough effort into any of the multiple platforms around here except for YouTube. He said, missed the show when you didn't do it. Thanks for always covering all of the matches and not just the big 3. He said the big 3, but I'm going to rephrase that. Just the big teams in general. We don't get enough coverage of anything besides the title races in Serie A. We really don't. But there's still a lot of great outlets out there. I'm not going to mention them by name, but unfortunately, they're not going to cover relegation battles much. They're not going to cover clubs who are in mid-table that are doing well by surviving relegation much. Any clubs in mid-table that are excelling in areas where they should not have been excelling. But I enjoy it. I just love Serie A in general. So let's get started. Ciao, Rino. I bet you're feeling very good. Completely back in a title race. A title race that you don't really deserve to be in. But at the same time, at least Rino is one of those fans that's given Thiago Motta the whole season to do what he needed to do. Because there are so many Juve fans, including their ultras at the moment, who are calling their manager a piece of you-know-what at the same time that they're -6 in his first season without their best defender. So that's about as nice as I'm going to get today about those guys. But at the end of the day, context is 101%. And if you can apply context, you're probably going to be right most of the time. Some great results on this match day. Once again, I think subconsciously I'm not tuning into as many Serie A highlight reels and extended highlights as I was before, because I feel like I'm just watching them on this show now, which is even better. This is exactly what I would be doing on a Tuesday afternoon, as I've said before. Let's go to the first game, man. Fiorentina defeat, I think it was Lecce, was it? I can't even remember who they beat. You know what? I'm just going to quadruple check it before I say Lecce. It was Lecce. It was Lecce. No problemo right there. Robin Gosens, I love seeing him do well. I love seeing him succeed. He's an athlete with that, that really aesthetic ability to physically perform outside of his skin majority of the time, unless he's injured, obviously, but hardcore old school discipline as well. Proper German way of playing football. And I always like when Robin Gosens, I wish he would have had a better career at Inter. He deserved more than what he got at our club. I think he got what? How many trophies did the guy get? He didn't get many, did he? I think he got 2 Coppa Italia and 1 Supercoppa, because I feel like he comes in the January season for Inter just after they win the Supercoppa against Juve with the last-minute Alexis Sanchez goal. So I think he gets 2 Coppa Italia and 1 Supercoppa with Inter. Deserves to say 1 more season and deserve to win the Scudetto, but either or, I did see his goal in this game. Well done to Fiorentina for getting another 3 points. It, basically gives them a more respectable look at the table, because they had been in so-so form, Like, I don't want to call it stupid form, because even Fiorentina can lose 3 games in a row, especially when one of your opponents are the champions of Italy. So it wasn't always going to be on Fiorentina to win every single game this season, despite the fact that they have higher than usual expectations of themselves, and they're still well within a running for a Europa League spot. They're not going to make the Champions League. In fact, the teams that I'm going to be talking about that are fighting for the Champions League spot are a lot closer to a title race than people think. Well, those fans are retarded. I never heard bad things about Allegri with the curve of sword. And 100%, Reno says it right. You know, Allegri had some awful results 3 years into his second stint with Juve, wasn't it? Like the Maccabi Haifa result, getting absolutely whipped on the ass by Benfica multiple times as well. There were games in Serie A that he just dropped multiple points, especially from January onwards last season. But we're not here to talk about that now. It's not going to make me feel better at the fact that they're back in the title race. We've got 8 people on Inter Worldwide right now. So like the video, subscribe if you are new. And let's move on to our second game of the week. Atalanta actually drew Venezia. And this is where the first blood was shed in terms of the Scudetto race being a complete open battle this season. Complete open battle this season. Complete open battle this season. Atalanta dropped points in Bergamo to Venezia. That's shit. That's horrible. That would have been worse than if you know who dropped points to Verona today. But Venezia are horrible. And you gave them a point in Bergamo. Atalanta really should be sitting on 57 points in second position right now behind Inter. That's where they should be sitting, but they're not. And these are the sort of results that make me believe that Atalanta might not be able to go the distance this season. However, have all of you seen that graphic going around the hood, going around Twitter and social media of how many games Inter play in comparison to Napoli and Atalanta? They should have included Juve in that graphic, but they didn't. Oh, man, these 3 sides, if I'm going to say it right here, and I wish I was popular enough to get clipped and people heard this because it's not being said enough. If Napoli or Atalanta don't win the Scudetto this season, it is just as embarrassing as if Inter did not win the Scudetto. You will never get this opportunity fed to you on a plate the same way you are this season. You are 2 very lucky clubs, very lucky franchises. Juve isn't included in this argument for 2 reasons. One, it's Thiago Motta's first season. No one really expected them to challenge for the league. And 2, they've got how many of them up their own ass anyway. For Atalanta and Napoli, if you guys let this Inter win the league over you or this Juve win the league over you, it is humiliating and embarrassing. The lack of fixtures that you have compared to a depleted Inter at the moment is on a different planet of professional football. Different planet of professional football. Inter could play anywhere up to 8 to 9, even 10 or 11 games more by the end of the season. That is a mini season on its own. At the very minimum, it's 4 right now. 4 right now. And people might think of it and look at it and say, oh, it's just 4 games, big deal. Bro, do you know what a 4-game congestion does to your football calendar in between March and May? It changes it completely. It completely reshapes the landscape. Atalanta and Napoli, don't think you can get to this season not winning the title without hearing something. If you don't, it could be the last chance you got for a while. This is the first game that I have not seen the extended highlights of or anything of this weekend. Udinese beat Parma. Parma. They drop more points on the ground than I was about to say something horrible and illegal. I'm not even going to go through with that. Parma's got like 1 win in their last 6, 7, 8 games. Something stupid like that. Udinese, on the other hand, is just looking to get a top spot in the ladder. And they might very well get it because Milan are that bad. But the goal for Torvan, let's see it. Ooh. Suzuki makes a save for once. Ever since I started giving him his flowers on this channel, he's been absolutely piss poor. That's a handball. The Parma jerseys look fantastic from a distance, very retro. They still look good up close. Handball call, penalty to Udinese. This will be the goal to Tovan. And Tovan scores, and that's it, 1-1. Sorry, 1-0. Nothing else for the rest of the game. Do I even need to watch the highlights properly? Probably not, but we will anyway. Why not? Bad defense. Dennis Mann should have finished. Bad defense from Udinese start of the second half. Dennis Mann should have scored there. Very, very good save from the Udinese keeper. Saraga. Decent player, to be honest. I was going to say, is that my computer? I think Serie A has glitched on its highlights. The banter continues in Italy. The banter continues towards Serie A. The Udinese Parma highlights, I believe, are broken. They're frozen. Udinese's offside goal is broken. There it is. It comes back now. Bro, this league's a fucking joke, cuz. Torvin scored. I don't see the build-up anywhere. Here we go. Oh my God, this league is disgusting. No wonder it never progresses. There are so many issues in Italian football at the moment. It really, can I just take a second to say, I'm going to pause it. It really doesn't matter who wins the league this season. It doesn't even matter if Inter were to make a Champions League final this season. This league is finished, cuz this league is finished. It is absolutely done. It is so far behind the other European leagues in the world. It is disgusting. It is a disgrace from a marketing point of view, from a broadcasting point of view, from a TV rights point of view, from a digital media point of view, from a promotional in various countries point of view. They've got various one football promotions going on around all 12 months of the UK. And, you know, you'd be surprised if any of them had even heard of it half the time, man. It is a disaster of a league on an international and a domestic level. It is embarrassing. Let's move on to the next game. Torino got some points. They got the points against the worst team in the league. And that's where our first major headline actually comes from in this video. Monza have booked their ticket. They've booked it because they are done. They are out of Serie A. I looked at the ladder today. They've got, let me try and memorize what they've got. They've got 14 competition points, 2 wins, 6 draws, and whatever the leftover result is for losses. Maybe a little bit, give or take 1 or 2. Their goal difference is awful. They're like 10 points off survival, and they're not going to make 10 points up on even teams as poor as Parma, Lecce, Cagliari, Verona, Genoa, like whatever it is, man. They're not making up points on them. They're going down, bro. Galliani and co are going down, and Torino did the damage. Let's have a look at the highlights. Ricci and Izzo, they embrace like they've played together before. I'm not too sure if they have. Shit clearance. Ooh, almost. The official Torino football channel doesn't actually do commentary on their highlights, which is another budget cut in Italian football. Well done. Chance for Monza. That's rubbish. And who is it? Keita Balde. Can you believe Keita Balde is actually playing for Monza? Keita Balde is playing for Monza, and this is why I love doing this show. Like Keita Balde is playing for Monza. It's fantastic. I love it. I actually love it. Vlasic. Lazaro having probably his best season ever at the moment. Elmas scores again. Elmas scores again. Lazaro to Elmas. I gotta say, man, Torino are just doing Torino things. Mid-table, 10th, 11th, just cruising along an easy season. 12 points clear of the drop zone, but still, you know, they'll never make a European spot, unfortunately. They probably could have turned a couple of results around this season. Players like Casadei and Ricci make a big difference, man. Honestly, they got a decent side. I think they should have done better. They need to drop their bitch complex in the Derby della Mole because they'll never lose to Juve. Even if they've got form and Juve don't. This season, they should have done better against them in the derby, and they didn't. Vlasic. Casadei. I think that's his first goal for them. I think. G'ing up the crowd. Maybe it's not his first goal because I could be wrong about that, but I think it was. For some reason, I think it was his first goal. Great goal for Casadei. And great win for Torino. I heard there was an absolute howler goalkeeping wise in this one. Genoa won, Empoli won. I haven't seen any highlights and I've read nothing, but all I saw was that there was a goalkeeping absolute howler. I want to see this. Let's see who grabs the goals. Love watching these raw. Big up. I didn't even check how many people are watching this show today. Unbelievable. There's 11 people. There's 12 people on Inter Worldwide. Like the video if you are here. Subscribe if you're new. Always let me know. And I know that I record this time at the worst. I know I record this at the worst time. I know this time in Australia is actually the worst time for the rest of the world, which is why I appreciate all of you for coming back and leaving your comments afterwards. Let's go. How'd you miss that? Jazzy misses. I probably got a foot on it, the defender, or at least impacted his finishing away. Good finish. Good finish by the Empoli captain, by Grassi. Good finish by Grassi, leading like a captain there to get them 1-0 up. Riding the high off the Juve Coppa Italia win. Esposito should have finished. He finishes that, game's over. He finishes that, game's over. Patrick Vieira's hanging by thin ice and he knows it there. Empoli pumping him. No chances for Genoa this game. Free kick goes over the bar. Oh, very close. Very close. I can't wait to see this last goal. Oh, Vasquez scores. What a goalkeeping howler. Oh, shit. Oh, that's an awful error. Guys, I'll be back in 1 sec. All right, we're back. By the way, did you guys see the Marotta League acrylic? You won't find it anywhere else. Big shout out ICB, Interclub Belfast. That's it. Gotta love it. Hey, look who's checking in from Goa. It is the Zil Sharma. It is the Don himself, bro. I was jealous, man. I was jealous when I saw your video today. I thought, oi, what right does this guy have to be in Goa ahead of me right now, apart from the fact that it is his homeland? How you doing, bro? And whereabouts in Goa are you staying? Please tell me. Please tell me, man. I need to know. I need to know. That was an awful howler, and that is very much drop points for Empoli there, who were really riding that high. Yo, I can't wait to talk about this for a second. So as you guys know, I really, really enjoy talking about all the teams, talking about all the clubs, and that brings me to the second nice message. So we all heard the first one. The second one's from Kina, who said that she was they were very upset that we didn't do this show last week. And it's really nice to get those sort of messages, man, because it keeps me going on this channel doing these sort of highlight reels where, as I said, I'd just be doing it anyway. But this in particular, I wanted to discuss Riccardo Orsolini. He keeps just being the guy for Bologna every single time. Everybody left Bologna after their amazing season last season for qualifying for the Champions League. And I was genuinely curious as to where this guy sits in the ranking with Bologna legends. This isn't a club I know exceptionally well. This isn't a club I know exceptionally well. Candolim, and now you're up in the hills in Panaji. Whereabouts is Candolim, man? Is it north, south, central? I was just south of central. I'm just happy you're there, man. Big up to you and your wife. It is so beautiful. I can't wait to go back. I would go back to Goa for the rest of my life, man. No questions asked about it. So, where do you rank Orsolini amongst Bologna legends? You know, I only started watching Calcio in the late 90s. So I'm not familiar with the likes of Bulgarelli, Nervo. And if you don't know who those players are, go look them up. I'm also going to have to ignore the likes of Schiavo because he was born turn of the 19th century. I'm pretty sure my great-grandfather was born in the same bracket as him. My great-grandfather, not my grandfather. That's crazy. A lot of people would argue Roberto Baggio, but to me, he doesn't have the appearances to justify that sort of bracket, you know? But I think most Bologna fans, and I'm only speaking as an outsider, probably won't put him in the same bracket as players like Schiavo, if I'm saying that wrong, sorry. Biavati, Bulgarelli, Signori. These players have won Scudetti at Bologna before and respected the national team, represented respectfully the national team as well. Beppe Signori was a weapon in front of goal. If you don't know who Beppe Signori is, look him up as well. Orsolini, despite his constant, I'm not going to say mediocre performances. I just think he's a little bit inconsistent. But this isn't a title-winning Bologna team / club and never will be. Never will be. The previously mentioned players played roles in eras that I've never known, never understood. So I can't really comment. So I guess this is more of just a shout-out to him than anything. I do think Riccardo Orsolini is the pride, the joy, the jewel, everything for this city and for this club. And the fact that he just keeps being responsible from memory for so many different points. I think he deserves his flowers. I really do. He's one of those players that's probably found his club as well. If he was to move to a bigger club like Juve or Inter or abroad, would he succeed in the same light? I'm going to go out on a limb and say no. Could underperform. Antonio Candreva syndrome in a way. But he's a good player. And he's won a youth international tournament as well with the Azzurri from what I heard today. So Orsolini gets his flowers the same way Baggio would, the same way Signori would as well, in different arguments as well. Hey, man, maybe the same way Gianluca Pagliuca would have as well. But anyway, I've only read about it. Let's check out the highlights of Bologna 2, Cagliari 1. Two sides that, you expect now to save the drop. Even if the points don't suggest that Cagliari is mathematically safe yet. Far from mathematically safe, to be honest. From the top of my head, they're only ahead of relegation by like 3 points. But I almost expect Cagliari from now to the end of the season to be able to outperform the likes of Lecce, Parma, Empoli, Monza, Venezia, these sort of really, really, really crappy sides. Hey, this guy. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Come on. I know it. Thanks, cuz. He's the Bologna Berardi. Well said, man. Well said, Zio. Well said. All right, first chance of the game here for Cagliari. Piccoli turns. Argello. Piccoli. Decent goal. Decent goal for Cagliari. Start of the second half. We've got a foul in the area and on the ball there. We've got 2 shots for a penalty. Bologna's going to get a penalty. Oh, shit. Yeah, just unlucky challenge. Orsolini! Uno. Tempted to get a Bologna jersey with Orsolini on the back. Castro. How did he squeeze that shot off? We got to get this, brother. We got to get this amigo. This amigo belongs to us. Cambiaghi. Cambiaghi. Orsolini! Mate, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm a fan, bro. I'm a fan. Orsolini, he's deserved his bigger contract somewhere else, but he needs to stay there. He does need to stay there. Otherwise, it's all going to go tits up for him. He's found his spot. The Bologna Berardi, as Uncle Sharma says. Big up to him. Deserves his flowers. Dovbik has sort of found his feet, but then I can find it in my mate Adam from Melbourne today, and he also said no, he hasn't. He sucks. He's not that good. All his goals are tap-ins. He's literally not that good. Como. Has there been a side this season that has dropped more points from decent positions than Como? I know Inter's conceded a lot of goals in the last 10 minutes, but Como, they are the kings this season of deserving more than they didn't get. And this game was no exception. They played really well in the first half. The first 35 to 40 minutes just dragged on for Roma. And then they pounce on a loose through ball and make it 1-0 2 minutes before halftime. Like, I don't know what else to say. Their captain scores. Macunia, I forget his actual name, to be honest. But I did actually watch the highlights in this game. I'm not watching them back. So well done to Como once again. Like, they dragged this game out from memory like 65 minutes. 65 minutes, mate. That's crazy against Roma at the Olimpico. But, oh well. Salamakas grabbed the first goal. That's worth noting. Salamakas grabbed the first goal as he continues his very, very good form in the nation's capital. He's a player that they're going to want to keep. He's a player that they're just going to want to keep permanently forever, unless they have already. I'm going to look that up, actually. Salamakas Roma contract. Salamakas joined Roma on loan from AC Milan in August 2024, and his loan expires at the end of this season. I have a feeling Salamakas is going to become permanent. They are going to become permanent. There was a red card for Como at one point in this game. It's worth noticing. That's where the game turned properly. I believe it from memory. The guy brings down Dybala in the middle of the park, yeah? Brings him down. Dybala actually wants to get up and keep playing on as the technical god that he is in Serie A. But the referee's like, no, that foul's garbage. And it's a second yellow card for that player. I forget which player it was, sorry. And then, yeah, Dovbik comes in. The setup was really, really good for this goal. I forget who made the cross, though. Oh, who made the cross for this goal? Angelino was on the other side. I don't even know if he played this game. Could be Wrench. I don't know. Cristante was involved in some way, shape, or form. Cristante was involved in some way, shape, or form as well. Anyway, Roma get the points. Ranieri was named manager of the month, and rightfully so. Their form is ridiculous, actually, when you look at it domestically. They beat Como, from memory, Monza. Who else did they play? Who else did they play in Serie A? Oh, forget who else they played in Serie A. I'm not going to be able to. They beat Porto in between that in the Europa League, the second leg. I don't know. Anyway, they've got a Europa League game coming up soon, so they still need to be good and they still need to be fresh. They're gathering points at the right time of the season. Good luck to them against, I think, Athletic Club. Athletic Club, eh? I forget. That's not in the Europa League, not the Conference League. I'm 99% sure it's the Europa League. Anyway, they played Bilbao, which isn't going to be easy. Moving on to Portugal versus Lazio. Give me a break, yeah. It's a week where Juve come back in the title race. If I'm allowed to laugh about one thing, it's this. These jerseys that Milan are putting out are absolute dog shit. They are such bad kits. They lose the game 2-1 to Lazio with a completely legitimate penalty at the end, by the way, because Mike Maignan, even though the ball is rolling away from the player, Mike Magnan is an idiot. I've even seen a couple of social media friends say that this is a conspiracy now. They're trying to get Costinçao sacked already. I don't know about that, but anyway, I'm going to watch the highlights again. I've already seen them, but I feel like I'm allowed to watch them again anyway. Zaccagni and Pedro on the score sheet. Chukwueze with a really good header as well. Really, really good header. Gab says, hey man, watching in delay, that's fine. I thought Orsolini should be used for Italy in the Euros. So do I. And he should have been considered for Nazionale. Absolutely. He could definitely play. He's very versatile as well. Well said, my bro. Raven Beast Milan is a mess and I am loving it. 100% I am too. Tavares. These Portugal kids are a joke, bro. Why are their names on the back in quotation marks? Are they actually trying to do something? Is it a Portuguese tribute? Buladia. Good tackle. Ooh! He did not get all ball there. Oh, bro, this ref made a bit of a mistake there, mate. Sorry. Leao. Renders. Shit shot. Good save. I actually watched this game, so I haven't watched the highlights back. I watched the game, though. Zaccagni, that's right. That's what happened. I love the Lazio jerseys without a sponsor all the time. That's always a nice touch, isn't it? It always is a nice touch to see the jerseys without a sponsor. Isaacson played through from Guendouzi, and there's Pavlovic with the red card. Straight red. Shit, yeah, that's a straight red, man. I knew when I was watching it live, it was a straight red. Felix, Leao, very good cross after very little pace on the run up. Chukwueze, great header, 1-1. Milan are a mess, brother. Look at them. Look at them. I don't speak about them enough on this channel. I'm always concerned about other teams. I'm going to close the highlights now. I don't even need to see the penalty again. This Milan side are finished, bro. They are done. Let's make a segue to one of the other major headlines. They are finished. This Milan are 9th in Serie A. They are shit. They are really, really bad. They have had such a crap season. Such a crap season. I don't even remember how many competition points they are on right now, but they've got to be... No, they can't be 20 points behind Inter. 20 points behind Inter would be an absolute disgrace. It would be a disaster. I'm going to ballpark the fact that they might be somewhere around like 15 points off the top. Yeah? Let's go with 15 points off the top. 15 to 16, something like that. But they are awful. They're awful, and they've been awful all year, and it really pisses me off that Inter not only lost the Super Coppa to this Milan side, but also hasn't gotten a win against them in Serie A. That is garbage from Inter. This Milan team sucks. And you know what is the funniest part about it? There is nobody in their board of directors or at top level that can turn this around. They already let Maldini go. This decision has really come around to bite them in the cooler more than anything else I ever thought would. The dip is a disgrace. Rafael Leao smiling in this photo. What are you smiling at, bro? This team, they look awful. Besides Reinders and Leao, I see no real quality. Pavlovic works hard, but he's also got a bad temper. Musa runs a lot. They'll tell you that. I do rate Christian Pulisic. I think he's good, but he's an odd one out in this formation. And Theo Hernandez is dog crap at this point of his career. Doesn't get back to defend. Jogs and walks on his best day. Theo Hernandez, I've always thought of him as one of the most overrated left backs in the world. I don't care how many Milanista fans come out and say, oh, there was a period where he was the best left back in the world. Bull crap. Maybe by your adjusted, consciously biased standards, man. I have always thought of him as an overrated player. He will always be an overrated defender to me because he cannot defend. He cannot defend. He can defend just as good as DeMarco can, which is very poor. Very poor. So This Milan side is getting exactly what they deserve for papering over the cracks this season, and I am here for it. I am here for it as they miss out on European football completely, because there is no way that they are making up 11 points on Juventus. No chance in hell they make up 11 points on Juve. Zero chance in the ninth circle of hell they make up 14 points on Atalanta. How are they going to get into the Champions League? It's either Europa League or Conference League. And from an Inter standpoint, I'd rather see them play Europa League. I'd rather see them play Conference League than to miss out on Europe altogether. It would keep regressing them season by season. This project is finished. And the reason I can say that is because if Inter's not careful, they'll be next. They'll be next. Inter fans, don't think it's all sunshine and rainbows watching these guys fall. This is a warning sign. This is a warning shot to all Inter fans and everybody at Inter. What happens when you let a hedge fund, an American hedge fund, take over with no real ambition? At least Oaktree have a general understanding of what's going on and, crowned Marotta the president at the time where we needed a president. If they really, really wanted to come here and gut us from within, the presidency would have gone to somebody else. It would have gone to an inside man. It didn't. With these guys, though, I think they're done. You know who's not done? Shit. How did that happen? How did they get this close? How did Juventus end up -6 from Inter at the top? I'll tell you how. They've won 5 in a row. They've won 5 in a row. The only reason it doesn't feel like that is because they got embarrassed and dumped out of 2 cups in 2 weeks. I know. I watched the last few minutes of each game with my students. Out of the Champions League, out of the Coppa Italia. And the second they got dumped out by Empoli in the Coppa Italia, I looked at my phone and I messaged Mattia. And I said, as funny as this is bad. This is not good. They are back, brother, and they are here with a vengeance. They are here with a vengeance. They are not happy. Kefren Thuram is very good. The same way Marcus Thuram is very good. The same way their father, Lilian Thuram, was fantastic. You cannot break a bloodline like this. We have seen some siblings, some offsprings perform poorly, but not this family. This family grabs this sport by the balls, by the horns, and absolutely makes it its biatch in the background. Kefren Thuram, Marcus Thuram, Lilian Thuram, protect it at all costs. He breaks the deadlock in the 70th minute. Juve get 3 points against Verona with Coop Miners scoring a goal as well. They are so back in this race. After having a not so good this season, they've drawn 13 games. They've still drawn just as many games as they've won this season. The only thing is they've only lost once. They've only lost once. Now, albeit they've got a very tricky fixture list coming up. Every team in this top 4 at the moment that's still gunning for this title, there is no such thing as an easy fixture list at the moment, despite what might people say. Juventus have Atalanta, Fiorentina, Genoa, Roma. That is 4 pretty difficult match days in the grand scheme of Serie A. Gets easier after that, though. Gets a little easier after that. Me personally, I think they're a great shot at this title. It pains me to say it, but I think they're a great chance at this title. How you going, cuz? Thanks for coming around. Make sure to subscribe and stick around. Great chance at this title. I'm happy to give them their flowers in this aspect, but at the same time, they are not good enough to win this league. I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe it. My betting slip will say otherwise, though. I'm scared to say on screen just how much I stand to collect if they win the title. Because if someone like me who's watched culture for a while has PTSD about Juve winning the league, and I open up my betting app and I see that there's $61 to win the league, I'll gear it. I'll gear it after I win a couple of other things on the weekend. Same as when they're $51, $47, $44, $41. I got them the lowest at $31, and I haven't even checked it after today. You know what? I'll check it on screen right now because I predicted that it would be at around 19. 19 altogether. I'm checking. I'm checking right now. Oh, no outrights yet. Are you joking? Nah, come on. Here we go. $17, bruv. 17 to 1. Are you actually kidding me? I'll show it on the screen. I got them ripe. I got them ripe and raw. That's disgusting. 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 Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I understand what you're saying, but look at that. The fact that I was getting him at 61, 59, 53, unbelievable. Great climb. Great climb. These two, Atalanta and Juve, they're worth a shot, you know? I hate to promote gambling. It's not a nice thing to do. Shouldn't promote gambling. But at the same time, at those sort of odds, if you are a punter, you need to take something like that. You also need to take Julian Alvarez to score or assist tomorrow at $3.80 against Real Madrid in the Champions League. That is a hot bet there. Raven Beast says Juve still has a lot of problems. They did well in the league. Undercover. Little bit of an undercover comeback right there. All right, what? You thought we were going to finish up without the big one? The big one. Napoli won. Inter won. But who won? Did anybody come out of this as a winner, would you say? I mean, there's arguments for and against both sides. If you ask fans in the city of Napoli, they'll tell you that a draw against Inter in this game wasn't enough. We had to get our noses back in front. If you ask Napoli fans abroad and on social media, they'll say that sticking with Inter was the most important thing. If you ask Inter fans, they will say that a draw negatively impacts Inter in some parts because Napoli have stayed with us and they have an easier run in until the end of the season, which they do. Not because of who they play, but how often they play. And then there's the other half of the Inter fans who will say that getting out of Naples with a point is a fantastic result. Thanks for your contributions, man. I've never really seen you here before, so big up, bro. Keep coming around, yeah? Then there's the other group of Inter fans that will say that, you know, we've only won it in Naples twice, 3 times in the last 2 decades. Getting out of there with a point is fine. But contextually, with our fixtures coming up against Feyenoord, it's not fine. I'm worried, man. I'm worried that Inter have had so many opportunities this season to pull away that we're left here kicking ourselves. But at the same time, isn't that a sentence and a complex that you could apply to any of these sides? Have Napoli not dropped so many points this season that their fans aren't looking at their own team going, shit, had we blah, blah against blah, blah, we would be, What about Juve fans? 13 draws. If we converted such and such into such and such, we would be here and there. Atalanta fans as well. If we scored against blah, blah, blah and defeated, we would be no. Everyone is in the same boat at the moment. This league overall this season, I've got to say, has been pretty poor. The quality has been half decent, but in terms of a team actually grabbing their domestic league by the balls, acting like a champion, acting like a representative, Inter's still the closest one. And that's not good because this Inter team doesn't look good. The squad is aging. We've been lackluster in the league. I guess the reason why I'm saying that is because we're the only team in a Champions League round of 16. We're allowed to say that. You're allowed to say that if you're the only team left in the Champions League, especially at a round of 16 stage, which is bullshit. Italy should always have 2 or 3 or 4 teams in the round of 16. Raven says, I don't understand why Inter keep losing every important game in the last 15 minutes. A lot of it does come down to Bastoni substitutions, and a lot of it, if not all of it, just comes down with mental fortitude. It's not the same Inter as last season. We've gotten a taste of the Scudetto. We are tired. We are lackluster. We are fatigued. And altogether, this team's probably going to look better in the Champions League than it does in the Serie A going forward. We need to get past Feyenoord first. I think Leverkusen could await us in the next round after that, but I'm not even thinking that far ahead yet. This Feyenoord team is good. They're good. And they've been given extra rest. The Eredivisie allowed them to rest an extra few days instead of playing domestically. But on the other hand, if I'm allowed to say this, and it's probably not a popular opinion, I think at this stage of the season, continuity and consistency in playing high-performance matches actually counts more than energy levels. Feyenoord can take 10 days off playing professional football for all I care. You're going to play Inter. You're going to play Inter. You're going to play Inter. If you're not ready to play against the team, sharp, 101%, we're going to whip you across the park. Don't be telling me that you got some extra rest against us. That's not going to work, cuz I'm telling you right now, that's not going to work against an Inter side who is, tired, under the pump, but at least we're familiar. And familiarity is exactly what has won us our silverware in the last few years. Antonio Conte will be happy to be thereabouts, like he will refer to in multiple press conferences. Good for him at the end of the day. Good for him for sticking around. The game in total, if I'm allowed to comment, look, I did watch it back, majority of it, even after, getting feedback that I shouldn't watch it back. Inter played a very good defensive game, one of their best defensive games of the year, but they are starting to run thin. As a team who very much so relies on our wing-backs, DiMarco's now out for 3 weeks. The only traditional wing-back on our pitch is Denzel Dumfries. Carlos Augusto is meant to come back in 3 or 4 days. He started to train with the team again. I don't know if he'll be risked against Feyenoord because it is a first leg. I don't know if he'll be played against Monza in the Serie A on the weekend because it is an underwhelming side. But we need a decent result in the Champions League. Inter needs 3 points against Monza on the weekend. Are we getting to a point this season already with us, even though it's only early March, where you just play the best and the healthiest 11 available? This concept usually shouldn't come in until April, but if it's coming in a little early, so be it. It will describe the modern day calendar, the modern day fixture list, and if so, it is what it is. Guys, that's going to wrap up another episode of our Serie A Matchday recaps, reviews, whatever you want to call it. Thank you very much to the 18 people that have stuck around here on Inter Worldwide until the end. Like the video, subscribe if you are new, support the Marotta League, the Bias League, where, only Inter gets favors. And, we never don't get favors. Everything goes Inter's way. Everything is us. You know what I'm saying? What a bunch of bullshit. What a bunch of bullshit. Take a good hard look at yourselves if you're one of those people that actually genuinely believes in this crap. And we're happy to parade it on here as well. All right, guys. Forza Inter. Forza Inter Worldwide. We will be back soon. Now, you know what? We do usually look at the table at the end, don't we? We do. Come on, don't cut it short. Don't cut it short just because you're hungry, Priv. There's no need to do that. Google will do the job today. They do the job each and every time anyway. Inter 58, Napoli 57, Atalanta 55, Juventus 52, Lazio 50, Bologna 47. What a great season for Bologna again. What a top season for Bologna again. That's freaking great. Fiorentina 45, Roma 43, Milan. Hell. That's disgusting, bro. That's worse than the Banter era, mate. That's really, really bad, bro. That's really bad. 41 points. Udinese 39, Torino 34 as a gulf starts to appear between 10th and 11th. Genoa 31, still out of this relegation fight. Como on 28. We usually do a cutoff as well. The cutoff is going to have to probably stay with Como because 6 points is still redeemable for Empoli. We're calling this the relegation cutoff is still there from 13th to 20th. It's still very much up in the air. Verona 26, Cagliari 25, Lecce 25, Parma 23, Empoli 22, Venezia 18, Monza 14. Monza are finished. They're done. Yeah, big up yourself, bro. Who do you support, by the way? Thanks for coming through. I really appreciate it. Love seeing new people on the channel, man. That's the trend at the moment. Gab says for Feyenoord, I think use Mkhitaryan, use that as a Gista because defensively he's pretty solid. Use Zielinski as a You're asking for a lot of change. You're asking for a lot of change from a manager that doesn't want to change a lot. I think that they're good. I think that if you and I were in charge, we'd love to experiment like that, but we're not. And if we were, maybe we would think differently. You're asking for a lot of change from a manager that is not used to changing that much. So, yeah, I really, really don't know about that. I think that if Hakan is fit enough, he'll start. I don't think he is fit enough, though. I think Zielinski is going to be used as a regista again, which I'm not 100% happy about, bro. But yeah, big up Natty, big up Gab, big up Raven, and the rest of you that came through. I really appreciate it. That's our rundown for this week. I'll be back with content for more Feyenoord, far out. Feyenoord, eh? I like Feyenoord. They're my Dutch team. I've been to De Kuip. I've watched them play at home before. Had a beer with a fan outside. He took me around. It was awesome. It was awesome. Had a bit of a rave afterwards at the Underground Hardcore Club. Forza Feyenoord, bro. Feyenoord, a great club. Liverpool. All right, cool. No worries. You get along with all my best mates. Feyenoord are going to be tough. Let's hope that Inter can take care of the business, eh? I really hope that they can. All right, guys. It was good to be here.